Hi, my name's Dave Chang. We're at my restaurant Majordōmo here in North Chinatown, Los Angeles. The term ugly delicious came about sort of as a, not as a joke, but something I think I've been toying around with for many years, that good food could be really great even though it doesn't look so pretty. Just because something looks imperfect doesn't mean that it's not perfect, right? It's really not only beauty in the eye of the beholder, but it's like who's setting these standards, quite frankly. I think ugly delicious at its core though is to sort of be accepting of many different things and understanding that multiple truths might be true, and ultimately know that there's hidden value in certain things, right? You may not like it right off the bat, but the more you're patient with it, the more you understand it, you might find it to be more delicious than you originally thought. Koreans called bread bang. Chinese call it bing. So there's a lot of words in China, Japan, Korea that have very similar associations. And having spent time and traveled throughout those regions and eaten a lot of bread, I just thought, well, this is wildly, not misrepresented, I think misunderstood. If you look at this, you're gonna be like, oh, this is just like a flatbread. I think the next story for me is like, how do you make the flatbread? What is it similar to? And like, how do you consume it? Because you could stuff it, you could just tear it off and dip it in something. I mean, it's just bread, man. It's griddled bread. We're gonna make some water, and we're gonna put in some yeast and flour. We change the recipe with some sugar, sometimes some salt. We're gonna portion it out to probably like 100 grams, bench it out, proof it, and then roll it out again, and then put it on the griddle. Probably it's like 350 degrees, and you're cooking it like a pancake. Long story cut short, it's just really delicious, and it allows us to serve it with this thing called chickpea Hozon, basically a chickpea dip, but we're not making it like traditional hummus. It's way more Asian, if not anything more American. We ferment chickpeas with koji, which is Aspergillus oryzae, which is very popular right now, but is the engine that drives much of, I would say, Japanese fermented goods. I'm mixing in lemon juice and olive oil and some sesame oil, maybe a little garlic. And we garnish it with sesame seeds and a little chili sesame oil. That's it. Super simple process, but it's actually very, very hard to get right. I think with Majordōmo, we wanted to do something that was out of our comfort zone a little bit. I think there's some, obviously, DNA from what we've done in the past, but we really wanted to celebrate what it might mean to be a Los Angeles restaurant. And I think for us, we were trying to think, if this was our only restaurant, what would that look like? And this is it. So I think it's a celebration of all things California. And I think if you look at California cuisine today, it really is, I think, a continuation of what Wolfgang said years ago, which is like, it's a melting pot, and our food here should represent that. 3 Michelin-star restaurants are fantastic, but you shouldn't only celebrate those restaurants. Ugly Delicious is challenging conventional wisdom.